Tonight on Size Eyes on the Skies, Sophomore Edition.
I'm sophomore meteorology major Nick Francis. Taking a look at the MU, it looks like a wet, cloudy day, and that trend is going to stay for most of the week. However, this weekend we might have a warm-up. I'll have more on that after the break.
Plus, we'll have a look at the national forecast. Size Eyes on the Skies for Tuesday, April 5th starts now.
Broadcasting live from the studios at Hamilton Hall at Iowa State University, the Iowa State Meteorology Department brings you the latest weather from across the country and out your front door. This is Size Eyes on the Skies.
Good evening. I'm your host, sophomore meteorology major Nicole Skalicky. Now for tonight's weather story. On this day in history in 1982, an unprecedented April blizzard blanketed much of the central and southern Appalachians. Mount Mitchell, North Carolina received 35 inches of snow, and up to 5 feet of snow were reported in the mountains along the North Carolina-Tennessee border. To discuss more of what's happening around the country, here's AJ with a look at our national forecast.
Good evening, everybody. I'm sophomore meteorology major AJ Rickman. We have a lot to get to tonight for our national weather, including a severe weather outbreak that is currently going on in the southeast and a pretty good flood threat that comes with that. We're going to have a cold snap coming across the eastern U.S. to end the week, and I'll have more on that coming up.
There are 16 million children struggling with hunger in America. That's 1 in 5 daughters, sons, neighbors, and classmates who don't know where their next meal is coming from. Yet billions of pounds of good food go to waste every year. It's time we do something about it. Feeding America is a nationwide network of food banks that helps provide meals to millions of kids and families in need. Visit feedingamerica.org to help them feed even more. Together, we can solve hunger. Together, we're feeding America.
Now let's have a look at what's happening around the nation with AJ.
Good evening, everybody. As we take a look at what's going on around the country tonight, warm in the south, 90s in Texas, very, very warm down there. And we've got some colder air locked up across the northern tier and out into the Rockies. But as we take a look at what's going on at the satellite and radar right now, you can see where we've got a low pressure system that's spreading a lot of rain and a lot of severe weather across Georgia, the Carolinas, North Carolina. It affected Alabama and Mississippi today. And we've got another low up across the upper Midwest. It's currently occluding and is going to bring some unsettled weather to the eastern half of the country at the end of this week. Taking a look at our current watches and warnings, we've got high wind warnings across the middle of the country and some red flag warnings out in Texas and in the Rockies, so you guys are going to want to keep an eye out for that. But I really want to focus on the southeast right now. Looking in the Carolinas, South Carolina, North Carolina, the last couple of hours you guys have had a lot of tornadoes. Georgia, you had tornadoes earlier today as the system's moved across the southeast. And as you can see right now, we've got active tornado warnings across south central South Carolina. One of them just expired, but there's still 2 more active tornado warnings there. These orange, those are the reds. The oranges, those are your active severe thunderstorm warnings, and the yellow indicates a tornado watch across the region. So in areas, southern North Carolina, South Carolina, please, please, please stay weather aware as we go through the night tonight. Back to the west of that, you can see where there's a large flood watch across Georgia, and we're going to have more of this coming up in the days ahead. Looking at today's severe weather outlook, all across Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina, the majority of the severe weather's moved into South Carolina now. So again, you guys are going to want to keep an eye on that as we go through the rest of the night tonight. And then taking a look at the severe weather outlook for tomorrow, we're going to have a secondary disturbance. We're going to have another boundary come across the region, and it's going to kick up some areas that were under the gun today. We're talking all across north central Alabama, most of Georgia, far northwest South Carolina, southwest North Carolina into Tennessee. You guys are going to want to keep an eye out. If you're in these oranges, you're at the highest risk. Yellow, still you're going to want to watch for isolated tornadoes, hail, damaging winds. And in the greens, that's general thunderstorms, but still keep an eye out for the weather as you go through the day tomorrow. As we go into Thursday, we're going to see a secondary cold front push through that's going to push a lot of that severe weather off towards the coast. So coastal North Carolina out to the east of Raleigh, you guys keep an eye on it. Down there in Florida, you guys might also get some thunderstorms, some rumbles of thunder. But then as we go through the day, Thursday into Friday, that front's going to push most of the severe weather off the coast and out of our hair for the weekend. Taking a look at our futurecast, you can see that as we get into tomorrow morning, where the first system that came through is going to be affecting parts of the Northeast, New York, Washington. You guys are going to want to watch for some really heavy rain. The Carolinas, you guys are currently dealing with it. By tomorrow morning, it will have pushed off the coast, but keep an eye out right behind it. We've got that secondary low pressure system that's going to be hanging out here in the upper Midwest, and as we go through the day tomorrow, it's going to kick up more storms, more severe weather across the southeast, and it's going to bring a lot of rain to the eastern half of the country too. And even up here in the upper Midwest, be on the lookout for rain and for snow. As we go through the rest of the day Wednesday, into the early morning on Thursday, again, you can see where that cold front's pushing through, kicking up a lot of rain, a lot of moisture. The center low pressure is just going to kind of hang out over the upper Midwest and just continue to bring snow and rain to that region. And then as we go through the day on Thursday, still, you can see where it's been cut off from the main flow, so it's just going to kind of linger over the eastern half of the country, bring lots of rain, lots of snow, and then the severe threat should die down as we get to the end of the day Thursday, like I mentioned earlier, although central Florida, far coastal North Carolina, near the coast, you guys are going to want to keep an eye out for that. And then headed into Friday afternoon, again, you can see where that low pressure system still just lingering out across the eastern half of the country. By now the severe threat's gone, but still just a lot of moisture lingering in its wake. Taking a look at the rainfall forecast, you can see the eastern half of the country, you can see where I just pointed out that low pressure system to you guys, and where that current system is pushing off the coast. It's going to bring a lot of rain, going to be a flood threat, especially parts of the Northeast, New York, Washington. You guys are going to be getting a lot of rain out of this. Keep an eye out, drive carefully, watch for flooded roads, turn around, don't drown. And then as you go across the southeast, there were some areas today that had some thunderstorms that packed some very heavy rains. You'll want to watch for that tomorrow. Widespread heavy rainfall, possibility of higher amounts in thunderstorms, locally heavier amounts, so keep an eye out for that. Taking a look at the 500 millibar height forecast, this is a really good indication of what surface temperatures are going to be like and what's going on in the upper atmosphere. They do closely correlate. So as we go through Thursday and then continue through the end of the week into Friday, notice how there's all these blues right here. That indicates that very cold pocket of air, and that's coming from that low pressure system that I mentioned earlier that's just going to kind of linger across the upper Midwest. And what that's going to do is bring a big shot of cold air across the eastern half of the country, and with it have late spring cold snap. So those of you out in the eastern half of the country that might have tried to put your gardens in early, you're going to want to cover those plants and bring any tender plants inside. So taking a look at the week ahead for our city of choice, my hometown, Conyers, Georgia. As we go into Wednesday, you guys are going to want to watch tomorrow for some really heavy thunderstorms. Could be severe. Keep an eye out. Keep your weather radios on. And then as we go through Thursday, that clears out, but then the cold comes in behind it. Normally this area should be in the 70s for the high, so it's going to be a very cold weekend, getting close to freezing. Watch out for frost. Again, if you have any plants that you put in the ground, keep them covered, keep them protected. But then we're looking at a warm up to near average beginning of next week.
Thank you, AJ, for that forecast. Now let's take a look at tonight's trivia question. At what temperature will a tomato plant die? A, 42 degrees Fahrenheit, B, 39 degrees Fahrenheit, C, 32 degrees Fahrenheit, or D, 28 degrees Fahrenheit? We'll have your answer coming right up. Now, let's have a look at the week ahead with Nick.
Taking a look at this week's weather headlines, we have more rain to come in the week. More that cold air, as AJ mentioned, is going to be rolling through, and possibly even snow will be brought along with that. However, it looks like the weekend are going to warm up, so hopefully be better. I don't know.
Did you know dragging chains can spark a wildfire?
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Taking a look at the current temperatures, it looks like it's going to be upper to mid 40s up in northern Iowa, more 50s in central Iowa, and down over here near New London, Iowa, it's looking like low 50s. Looking at the satellite, Looks like we have that rain system moving through, and that brought with us nothing too bad, just some drizzles here and there. Down in southeast Iowa, though, that's probably where you're going to get most of your rainfall. And taking a look at the current conditions, it is 57 right now in Ames, Iowa. That was my football number in high school, fun fact. Kind of drizzling, raining, southwest winds of 18 miles per hour. The dew point of 50, and now taking a look at our future cast, looks like into the Wednesday AM, you have clouds and some rain, possibly even some snow up in northwest Iowa. That clears out towards central and down in southeast. It looks like you're going to have clear skies. Taking that into the Wednesday PM, you can see all those clouds rolled in from that cutoff low that AJ mentioned earlier. Some spotty patches of rain here, nothing too bad. If you're coming home from work, just drive with the conditions. If it's a wet road, slow it down, just be safe. And into the Thursday commute, those clouds are here to stay. There's not much of a break in there. However, you can see spotty snow now is brought in. And I know we all wanted to be done with the snow, but it looks like winter's having one last push. Back into the Thursday PM, you can see the snow stays north. However, it looks like some warmer temperatures in the south converts that to rain. Some mix in between, so watch out for that. And into Friday late night, that snow gets brought in again. The cloud cover is here to stay. Taking a look at what's outside, taking a look at what's going to be like tonight, 37 in Ames, Iowa, with northwest winds of 20 to 25 miles per hour. And taking a look at tomorrow, it's going to be partly sunny, 48, northwest winds of 15 to 25 miles per hour. We all want it to be like a Joe Nichols song, sunny and 75, but that's just not going to happen here soon. All right, the forecast lows for tonight, you have upper to mid 30s up in northwest Iowa, some 40s over far west, kind of mid 30s here in central Iowa, Ames, and it warms up down south near Burlington or New London to low 40s. And the forecast highs for tomorrow, getting a little bit warmer, mid 50s down there in New London, Iowa, 48 here in Ames, and then low 40s up in north Iowa. And a look ahead tomorrow, as Dave Flory would say, here's what we're supposed to be at. It looks like a normal high would be 57 degrees. However, it looks like tomorrow we're only going to get up to 48 degrees, so it's going to be a little bit below average here. And the week ahead of my city of choice, my hometown, New London, Iowa, looks like it's going to be windy here Wednesday, Friday. Temperatures kind of remain in the 40s, 50s. We have a 62 here on Sunday. That's going to be that weekend warm-up I mentioned. Sunny Thursday, partly cloudy Saturday and Sunday. But come Monday and Tuesday, you have some storms rolling in, so beware of that. The looks like lows drop below freezing here Saturday and Sunday.
Thank you, Nick, for that forecast. Let's review tonight's trivia question. At what temperature will a tomato plant die? A, 42 degrees Fahrenheit, B, 39 degrees Fahrenheit, C, 32 degrees Fahrenheit, or D, 28 degrees Fahrenheit?
Well, I will bet you that over the next couple days in the eastern half of the U.S., there's going to be a lot of folks that find out.
I'm thinking there's no way a tomato plant lives past 278 degrees Kelvin.
I think that's a really hot take right there, but why don't we take a look at our answer? It was C, 32 degrees Fahrenheit. So, Nick, you were just a little bit too warm. You have too much faith in those tomato plants. That concludes tonight's show. Please be sure to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. You can find every show on YouTube under our Size Eyes channel. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you later. Have a great night.